Bless me, Father Simon, for I've sinned. Just after university, myself and a friend moved into a house with our then girlfriends. It was a rented house, so it came with certain quirks, shall we say. Firstly, it had a very loud and inefficient upright vacuum cleaner. It also had a massively overgrown garden and some ill-fitting woodwork. These last two things meant that we regularly had various insect visitors, mostly ants and woodlice. It also meant that, consequently, we had a variety of anti-bug items in the house, such as ant traps, sprays, and that kind of thing. One evening, after we'd been out to the local hostelry for some refreshing beverages, you'd be amazed how many confessions have that line in it, the four of us headed home, but my housemate and his other half made it back a few minutes before us. Upon opening the kitchen door, as this was our usual means of entry, he noticed a small group of woodlice clambering out from a hole in the skirting board. I happen to think woodlice are particularly awful.
Oh, I know. I hate them.
Oh, no, I love them.
How can you love a woodlice?
Because they're really cute.
No,
they're
And also, they can grip to the wall really well.
Oh, bully for them.
Oh, how can you not love a woodlice? They curl up in a
Easily.
little ball like an aardvark. They're like a mini aardvark.
They eat my strawberries.
Anyway, as you can see, opinion is divided, but in this case, Joe's completely right. Springing into action, he sent a quick couple of squirts of bug spray into the hole. So by the time my girlfriend and I came in, the bug spray had performed its primary purpose, and about half a dozen woodlice were coughing their final breath. And good riddance, I say.
Good for them.
What have they done to you?
They'd been woodlice. However, my flatmate's actions had an unexpected side effect, as a whole horde, a host of woodlice, were now pouring from a second hole in the skirting a few feet away.
Oh, good grief.
This prompted a fair amount of squealing and possibly a few expletives, I can't remember, but after quickly regaining my composure, I attempted to deal with the ever-growing invasion, which was starting to resemble something from the 1990s reboot of The Mummy, which, if you saw, did feature extraordinary amounts of bugs. I took one of the larger cans of bug spray, which claimed to stop bugs crossing after use, and I sprayed a square around the now hundreds of woodlice. This seemed to hold them inside the area, so I then started to work in towards the hole from which the creatures had first appeared. I continued to spray until the can was empty, by which time the woodlice had ceased the invasion. However, we now unfortunately had a 3 foot by 3 foot square of thousands of dying insects.
Oh, that's awful.
3 foot by 3 foot?
Yeah.
That's big.
It's a lot of
crunchiness.
A lot of crunchiness, yeah. Rather than stay and watch the massacre, for that's what the scene had now become, I went up to join my girlfriend and sat on the edge of the bed, and my previously calm exterior evaporated, and I refused to remove my shoes in case the woodlice came upstairs to exact revenge. They are notoriously bright, vengeful creatures who can hold grudges for weeks. Really. My poor other half had to soothe my shattered nerves before I would take them off. Shoes, that is. A disturbed night's sleep followed, and upon going downstairs in the morning, we saw the remnants of what I can only describe as a biblical plague. My housemate was down first, and the sight was the aforementioned 3 foot square of dead woodlice, about 3 woodlice high, thousands of insect bodies motionless. We looked at the scene, and I did the only sensible thing I could do. I took out the large, noisy, and inefficient vacuum cleaner and cleared the scene of dead woodlice. It sucked and it sucked over many minutes as 1 by 1 or 10 by 10 or 100 by 100 the bodies were vacuumed into the bag. Now, Father Simon, I am not asking forgiveness from my housemate who had to see the pile of woodlice by the back door as he came home from the night before, nor am I saying sorry to my girlfriend who had to soothe my nerves, feeble, nor even to the woodlice who gave their lives for this story. I do, though, ask for forgiveness from the people who moved into our house soon after we left, as I couldn't bring myself to ever empty the bulging Hoover bag. No doubt they moved in, tried to use the machine, and when it wouldn't work, tried emptying the bag to improve its performance, only to be greeted by thousands and thousands and thousands, a biblical swarm of dead insect bodies, and no explanation at all. I fear they may have been worried that they'd taken over somewhere that had been satanically possessed by hordes of ravenous and vengeful lice, and for this I am truly sorry. I throw myself at the mercy of the congregation for my sins. I mean, it's fair to say that student houses regularly feature in confessions. There have been many squalid tales coming from many a student house. There will doubtless be many more, confessions at bbc.co.uk. But this involves an unemptied Hoover and a rather embarrassing moment for the next lot in. What do you say, Bobby? You can go first today.
Okay, Kieran, you are not forgiven, and for these reasons. I know you're students, I know you were renting a place, but instead of spending money on loads and loads of sprays that get rid of them, just get some filler and fill in the holes, and then they can't get in. It's really simple. It comes ready mixed. You just squeeze it out of the tube like toothpaste. Fill it. Also, you're renting the house. The garden is your responsibility. Trim it back if it's becoming invasive. I know you don't want to share the house with woodlice, but they are happy little bugs and doing you no harm.
How do you know they're happy?
Because they are. They don't really do any harm, do they? They don't really spread huge diseases. They are
look pretty,
crunchy.
pretty stupid, don't they?
Yeah, I know, but we are too. I just say, Kieran, you are not forgiven.
Speak for yourself. Anyway, Bobby is the moral compass of the nation.
There you go.
But Joe gets the last word, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm just conflicted because obviously they are my least favourite insect. I've just been debating all the different insects that there are, the bugs and creatures and stuff like that. Silverfish I think are okay. Like silverfish, don't mind those. No?
But you tread on them.
How many have you got in your house?
Well, it's usually quite a few in the downstairs loo.
They kind of squish rather than crunch. But no, am I going to forgive? I think I will forgive because he was just freaking out so hideously, and I would do exactly the same thing, and I probably wouldn't go near the Hoover either to empty it out. So